This is a great book to pick up if you're interested in Kundalini. This is Dark Light Consciousness, Melanin, Serpent Power, and the Luminous Matrix of Reality by Edward Bruce Bynum, PhD. Very interesting stuff. Let's read the back. Within each of us lies the potential to activate a personal connection to the superconsciousness. Called Uraeus in ancient Egyptian texts and Kundalini in ancient Hindu yoga traditions, our innate serpent power of spiritual transcendence inhabits the base of the spine in its dormant state. The Kundalini has fallen from grace. It's gone from heaven, the throne of God, the head, nestled between the two hemispheres of the brain and the pineal gland, the eye of Horus. And it's fallen down and descended into hell, which is the pelvic floor of the human body. It's fallen asleep around the caduceus, the lower part of the pelvic bone. That's what the fall from grace really is, because Kundalini keeps us tethered to the angelic kingdoms through our consciousness, through our biology. When we go from heaven to hell, hell is just the bottom of the spine. We're now only experiencing reality from the lowest dictations of the lower chakra system, primarily the Muladhara, the base chakra, the root chakra. When you only experience reality from that lower energetic output, you experience the fight-or-flight activity of the reptilian brain, which is survival and sex, basically. Once you move past the Muladhara and you go up into the upper regions of the lower chakras before you reach the heart, you start to open your consciousness. You're allowed to see things as the lotuses, as the petals of the lotuses, the chakras are nourished through the Kundalini climbing through it. Your consciousness is now broadened and you're tethered to reality past the Muladhara consciousness, the root chakra consciousness. Very difficult thing to explain. But again, falling from the whole heaven and hell thing, the mythology of that is just Kundalini energy falling from the kingdom of God, heaven, within the brain down to the caduceus. And it's fallen asleep around the caduceus. Let's read this one more time. Within each of us lies the potential to activate a personal connection to the superconscious, Called Uraeus in Egyptian texts and Kundalini in ancient Hindu yoga traditions, our innate serpent power of spiritual transcendence inhabits the base of the spine in its dormant state. When awakened, it unfurls along the spinal column to the brain, connecting individual consciousness to the consciousness of the universe, enfolded within the dark matter of space. At the root of creativity and spiritual genius across innumerable cultures and civilizations, this intelligent force reveals portals that enfold time, space, and the luminous matrix of reality itself. Combining physics, neuroscience, and biochemistry with ancient traditions from Africa and India, Edward Bruce Bynum, PhD, explores the ancient Egyptian science of the Uraeus and reveals how it is intimately connected to dark matter and to melanin, a light-sensitive, energy-conducting substance found in the brain, nervous systems, and organs of all higher life forms. He explains how the dark light of melanin serves as the biochemical infrastructure for the subtle energy body, just as dark matter, together with gravity, holds the galaxies and constellations together. With illustrated instructions, he shows how to safely awaken and stabilize the spiritual energy of the Uraeus through meditation practices, breathing exercise, and yoga postures, as well as how to prepare the subtle body for transdimensional soul travel. By embracing the dark light of the shining serpent within, we overcome our collective fear of the vast living darkness without. By embracing the dark, we transcend reality to the dimension of light. That's the whole thing about before there was light, there was darkness. There was darkness before there was light. For some reason in this world, the darkness has been given a bad rap, and that's a New Age mind control ploy. Nothing more than that. This reality is composed primarily of dark matter. Within the darkness, you find the light. Even biblically, again, I just said that. Let there be light, because there was darkness prior. The whole entire insides of the human body is in darkness until the Kundalini comes along and lights the torch and activates the staff of Mercury, the caduceus, the rod of healing, the rod of the saints, Now, I get asked a lot about the whole, what does the caduceus mean? First of all, let's see if there's a picture of the caduceus. And, you know, this is a depiction, before we get into that, of the Uraeus. If you look in ancient mythology, ancient Egyptian cultures and whatnot, a lot of the pharaohs and whatnot had a depiction of a cobra coming out of the forehead. That represented that they had mastered the Kundalini energy, and it was now kindled. The serpent energy was now kindled within the kingdom of God. They had bridged their consciousness with heaven consciousness. They were experiencing reality the way it was designed to be. We don't experience that anymore. We've gone from pharaohs to spiritual hobos, so to speak. But let's see if there's a depiction of the caduceus here, ladies and gentlemen. If not, I can find one really quick. I'll show you one right now. That's a caduceus. So you have a staff in the middle, ladies and gentlemen. That represents the spinal system. You have that ball at the top. That represents the black dot, the pineal gland. Melanin. You have the wings on the sides. That represents bridging yourself with God consciousness, with the angelic kingdoms, through the angelic Enochian aethers. That happens through the stimulation and rising of Kundalini. What the two serpents represent are the Ida and the Pingala nerve pathways. The female and male energy of the Kundalini moving up the coccyx, around the spine, and stimulating all the energy centers, the chakras, on its way up to the top of the head. There's a reason why that symbol represents healing, because real healing and Kundalini go hand in hand. So we experience health here. We think health is just, you know, I live a long life. My joints feel good. You know, I'm kind of mentally sharp. You know, again, I lived past 90. I must be healthy. Compared to what real health is, compared to matrix health, real health and Kundalini, again, real health is enlightenment. Enlightenment is real health. So we have our entire thinking processes warped here, you guys. This book is amazing. The Awakening of Kundalini by Gopi Krishna is another great book for people interested in Kundalini. Dr. Douglas Baker's book, The Opening of the Third Eye. The book Finding the Third Eye. Okay, there's Dr. Douglas Baker put out a book called The Opening of the Third Eye. I believe that's what it's called. I want to read off some books for you guys, because people ask me about the Kundalini thing a lot. And they also ask me what types of books they can read. Dr. Douglas Baker has a book called Third Eye, The Third Eye. He also has a book called The Opening of the Third Eye, which is an awesome book. Both those books are really good. Check those out if you're interested in Kundalini. There's also a book called The Finding of the Third Eye. Who wrote that? It was Vera Stanley Adler. Great book. You can get that book for about $2.83, it looks like, used on Amazon. The Finding of the Third Eye and The Opening of the Third Eye. Two really great books about stimulating those parts of our biology to help stimulate Kundalini. There's also a great book by Dr. Gabriel Cousens, medical doctor, psychiatrist, and naturopathic doctor, called Spiritual Nutrition. His book, Tachyon Energy, that he wrote with someone else, is also really interesting. Learning about tachyon energy and kind of how matter is created through these this infinite energy field. But let's find Spiritual Nutrition. I want to read it off for you guys. I think it's 6 foundations for raising Kundalini. Yeah, Spiritual Nutrition, 6 foundations for life and the awakening of Kundalini. Big book. I think it's like 600 pages. This is what it looks like, you guys. Just so you know, if you're interested in buying it. Kind of a difficult book to read at times, parts of it, but well worth it. Looks like you can get a copy of that on Amazon Prime for about $22 shipped to your door with free 2-day shipping. But again, Gopi Krishna has his books about Kundalini, which are really interesting. What are some other books on Kundalini that are really interesting? There's a handful of them. I can't think of them off the top of my head, but Dark Light Consciousness is definitely a good one. I wanted to personally thank you for watching my videos and contributing to the growth of my channel. I could not do this without you, And your interest in my content is truly what motivates me and fuels my passion for making these videos and spreading my message. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. I wanted to remind you that this channel is a free educational tool that is listener supported. And if you would like to donate to my channel and donate to my cause, help make my life a little bit easier and help keep the lights on around here, you can do so by checking out the links in the description box below. There's a handful of not only ways to donate to my channel, but I also have links to different websites and different videos of mine, as well as my Amazon store, where you can check out a plethora of different health-related products that I use and recommend. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your continued interest in my message, and until next time, peace be with you all.